here we are again, another episode of On the DELO. It's my podcast voice, my radio voice. How do you like that? Anyways, I am so excited because I have my good friend Chelsey here. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am awesome. I'm excited to just kind of wrap out with you just about life and all sorts of fun stuff. So what have you been up to the last, I don't know, month?
Oh, gosh. I've been, if you don't know, I'm a content creator. So I've been doing a ton of national campaigns, got back from traveling back east for 2 weeks and just been taking it easy, readjusting our environment at home and chilling.
Yeah. So out of the 300 and what is it, 65 days a year? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Something like that. Yeah. Okay. Out of all those days, if you had to guesstimate, how much of that time do you spend traveling? Because you love to travel.
Oh, I love to travel. I'd say I travel at least 280 days a year.
That's ridiculous.
At least.
And does all that shit get paid for?
Most of it, yes.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Look at you. Look at you. That is so cool. All right. Well, let's start from the beginning. So you're from Boston?
Yep.
Okay. And were you born there and grew up there?
Yep. I was raised in the South Shore, so it's south of Boston. You can get to Boston from my hometown. It's called Nantasket Beach. 15 minutes via boat or an hour via car ride.
Okay.
It's a small peninsula. Grew up there my whole life, lived right on the beach. It would be a 5-minute walk to the beach.
Wow.
It was it was a very small town, but it made me appreciate so much living there. It was just different.
So what are you doing in the desert?
Oh my gosh. Fell in love with a boy and turned out he was not the right man for me, but everything makes sense because I decided to stick it out and then I found my husband and then somehow I fell into this. So everything happens for a reason.
You found your husband, and he is here today, he still hasn't left your side. He is always around with you, huh?
The professional plus one.
I
All
love
the
it.
perks, half the work.
So does he get to travel with you as well?
Yes, not always because he does work a full-time job. He's a software engineer, but when he does get time off, he is the beautiful hands. He has beautiful hands for a man. People are like, your hands are so nice. I'm like, no, those are my husband's.
I'm now looking at his hands. Wow, whoa, hold on. I may have to press pause. Hang on a second. Anyways, that's amazing. You guys have been married for how long?
8 years.
Okay, 8
And
years.
we've been together 9.
Okay, you're on the same schedule as my wife and I.
Oh, really?
Yeah, exact same schedule.
It's the magic year, I swear. Tons of people I meet.
Yeah, lots of love, right? And then for the younger generation, it's like 2020 was like the baby year.
Yes.
Because like all these, COVID babies are coming out.
Or the COVID dogs are like, I need a dog or a cat.
Yes,
and now
yes.
they're no longer puppies and all grown.
Yeah, oh my goodness. All right, so am I correct in saying you're a food blogger?
I'd say I started as a food blogger. It's so much more than that now. I'd say it's more of I like to say content creator.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of blogging involved and there's a lot of influence involved. So people go between influencer, blogger, content creator. But yeah, I do everything Arizona, and then I'm also trying to work on a global brand as well.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So lack of better terms for people listening, because my audience is all over the place. It's business, it's food people, it's all sorts of stuff. And, I'm sure most of them that don't follow you, which is probably pretty rare because you get a pretty damn big following, they probably just see stuff on Instagram, TikTok, and the two biggest platforms that I know that you're on, and they probably just take it for granted and just be like, oh, this just kind of appeared here, and some of it they like, some of it they scroll through. So tell me kind of just how important it is that you do for these businesses and the relationship with some of these businesses and why they seek you out. What do they get out of it?
So I tell people my main thing is I do awareness campaigns because everybody's like, oh, you're a food critic. And I'm like, no, that's not what I do, because my whole job is to make you aware that this business exists, what they carry and what they do, kind of like their mission and everything like that. So I'm kind of a voice where I collect all these things, put it together, and I tell you, if you're looking for a good pizza spot, this is a place, family owned, this is what they do. So my whole job is to make people aware, and I film it through video because that's the huge movement right now, and that's my main focus.
Yeah, so it's really not even necessarily your opinion on stuff. It's you're making people aware of good stuff that's out there. And you and I had talked about this at AZ88 when we were sitting at the bar for that photo shoot that Melissa drug us to. And we were talking about this, and you're in a position now, and I mean, this this started, what, in 2019 for you?
Yep.
So here you are in this position. I'm not good at math, but what, 4 years later, 3 years later, something like that, where you can actually turn down jobs. Like if it doesn't resonate with you, you're it's like, wow. So how do you vet people, companies and try to figure out if the vibration is right for you and all that?
A lot of it is I kind of look at reviews and things like that. If I notice there's things off, I'm like, maybe you guys got to fix some service issues first. I look at the quality, kind of what their mission statement is, things like that, or if there's some really interesting stuff. So I do a lot of research on the back end, like people love Instagrammable food, which is over the top and crazy and fun. Yeah. But then you got your places that they've been making food for 60 plus years and you just know the flavor is there.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of your job to describe it and put it out there and then through your channels and all that sort of stuff. So without giving any secret formula, not that you can, because I don't think anybody knows what the formula is for Instagram or TikTok. It's like all of a sudden so you post something and it's like, holy shit, I just got 50,000 followers. Not that that happens a lot or all the time, but I know that there are some methods to that sort of madness. So is there any sort of like methodology to what you're doing to grow your following and all that?
I'd say the biggest thing is knowing what people are interested in and what I always say the differentiator factor. So for me, it's like, what is different? Like, okay, I did a generic video about McDonald's and the blue arches, but it was unique because how many McDonald's in the world have blue arches? So I was like, I'm just going to throw this video out there. And ironically, I got 50,000 followers because of that video. So that very outlier kind of weird thing.
Yeah.
But people liked it because they're like, everybody knows McDonald's. They're like, oh, I didn't know that this existed. Why was it blue? So there was a lot of feedback from that. But I think the formula is what is your best thing and put it forward.
Yeah.
Especially these days, people's attention span is so small that if you don't get them in the first second, you're over. You're not going any further. They've scrolled on, they moved on to like boring.
Right.
And then you go from there. So I always put the best stuff at the front and then we go into the storytelling from there.
Yeah. And do you ever, I'm sure you do. I mean, it's a dumb question, but in essence, I think for relevancy of the conversation, do you ever get into a point where you're kind of like creatively stuck sometimes and have to like go out and just clear your mind and then you come back and you're like, I'm just going to shoot this and then it ends up being huge?
Oh my gosh, yeah. There's so many times I'm like, oh, I worked so hard on this. No one liked it. I'll stop in. I'll be driving by on the side of the road. I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, I'm going to go in. I film it. And then I come home, I'm like, whatever, I'll just put it together. And I'm like, I call it throwaway content because to me, I'm just like, whatever, like no one will care.
Yeah.
And that'll be the stuff that blows up. So I always tell people, don't put all your eggs in a basket. Don't get discouraged. Sometimes the stuff you put the least amount of effort in or things you don't think people care about, they actually really do.
Right.
So I say just keep creating because the more you create, the better you're going to get.
That totally makes sense. Do you feel like this now, like this path, this career, this business that you've built, this brand, this model, everything, do you feel that there's a lot of other people doing it, or is there a lot of other people doing something like it?
I think there's a lot of people doing stuff like it. And that's the thing I hear a lot from people are like, well, what's the magic formula? But I think it's the person a lot of the times, like, what is your unique take? Do you pick up on those things?
Yeah.
And it's not always easy to copy and paste. I mean, I've seen content that's beautiful, but it doesn't make me feel anything.
Right.
Because I have no connection to it at all.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, that's a really pretty river. I'm like, I'm probably never going to go there and I'm not interested. But somebody's like, this is my happy place. I'm like, oh, tell me more. Like, I want to know more about why is it your happy place? Why is it so beautiful? How did you get here?
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot connected to that.
And it goes back to storytelling. Like the reason why I do this podcast is to have people tell their stories. When I go out on business meeting, I'm telling a story or I'm listening to their story. So you get to know them, have that relationship, and it becomes more than just a transactional thing. People are invested in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool. Okay. So let them eat this, but this isn't all about eating.
No, it started that way.
Yeah.
And then I kind of was like, well, food and drink is involved in so much more than that. But then I was like, travel and everything. And it's almost like you're eating up this content. So that's how I kind of think of it.
I like that. Yeah.
Because I'm like, I think the biggest thing to learn is if you put yourself in a box and stay there, you put yourself in a box, but you don't have to be. Like maybe to start you do, and then you branch out, experiment. Some of my biggest hits are literally alternative clothing store videos I've done.
Yeah.
And people are like, I love this because nobody's doing it.
It's like when you were rating the bins.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. People love the bins video. They're like, oh, discount stores. And somebody is like, well, this isn't a food page. And I was like, if you just want food, that's okay. Maybe I'm not the account for you. And that's okay. You can leave.
Yeah.
There's plenty of room for other people.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You're doing what, you're doing what makes you feel good creatively and branching yourself out there and not getting stuck in one lane, which is cool because really what you're promoting is community.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing because, and I tell people there's room for small businesses, there's room for chains, there's room for everything.
Yeah.
There's a spot for all of that. And I think people will be like, oh, why are you going to a chain? And I'm like, I'm sorry, the fettuccine Alfredo at Olive Garden, I'll always go back for. But I also have some local faves too. Everything has a purpose.
Yeah. Do you still consider Albertsons to be one of your best campaigns?
That one was up there. That one did really good. Honestly, I'd say my best is Dave and Buster's.
Okay.
That one, they asked me again and again and again to come back to.
It's not Cane's?
I love Cane's. I don't know. They keep introducing me as celebrities, and I'm like, tell me more, man.
It was hilarious. Like I see you like eating iced tea from Iced Tea.
I love the memes. I love their marketing. They're like, we're doing this for the memes. And I'm like, I'm for it. That's my generation. We love memes.
That's so amazing. So the thing is, a lot of people may just not really know about you personally or what goes on or this and that. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions like, oh my God, she does all this food. So she just must, just love food and eat and this and that. But there's a personal side of you that, you've had to struggle with, health issues and you've had to take care of yourself. And we were talking before you got in here, you've lost some weight, you look great, you're glowing. So, I mean, what are those misconceptions that people should really know about you?
Oh gosh, everybody sees, they're like, oh, this is some overweight girl. Like she shouldn't be doing this. She's killing herself. And it's like, no, in actuality, like I have chronic illness. I have an invisible illness called autoimmune progesterone dermatitis.
Wow.
And it actually happened from eating a lot of soy, completely destroyed my immune system. And basically my body started attacking itself and associating my monthly cycle as an invader.
Yeah.
And so I was having like anaphylactic seizures and like allergic reactions. And doctors were like, we've never seen this. We don't know what's wrong with you. And even this year alone, I had emergency gallbladder surgery. I got diagnosed with a rare blood clot that they have no idea where it came from. And so these are things I've struggled with for years. I've been chronically ill. I've had asthma and everything else. And a lot of it is just like I had a really tough childhood. And they say like, if you have a hard childhood, illness will just follow you through your life, even if you make good changes. And I mean, I eat really clean 90% of the time.
Yeah.
They see a cheeseburger and they're like, oh, that girl ate the cheeseburger and all the fries and all the food. And I'm like, bro, who's eating a cheeseburger, a pizza, a basket of fries in one sitting? I mean, if you do, good, kudos to you, but I can't do that.
Yeah, it's, people are just so, maybe it just makes them feel better to, just be the way that they are. And it's just not the case, even with our friend Melissa, she's working out and doing her stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, anybody having to do with food that kind of puts it out there, you're putting it out there for the benefit of other people to see, to go have a creative meal or something like that. It's not like, oh my God, look what I, do all the time. It's just so the thing that I really love about you, knowing you as a person, is that your attitude is always fucking A+.
Oh, thank you.
No matter what it is you're going through, you're just like, yeah, gallbladder, tap it in, and it's like, how do you keep your positivity, so high? How do you just keep it up there? What is your inner secret to do that?
Resilience. I think my whole life, everyone has always told me like, you can't do this. You're not going to be successful. You're never good enough. And deep down, there's an inner voice that's always been, no, you're wrong, and I'm going to prove you wrong. And I've even had brands push me away and be like, you're not our ideal image because I'm not skinny, I'm not blonde, I'm not perfect in their eyes. And to me, it's like, it doesn't matter. I'll find my own way and I'll find my own people.
Yeah, those aren't the brands for you.
Exactly. I mean, usually I change their mind because they'll be like, wow, this was so successful. I'm like, oh, now you want to work with me.
Yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, you're successful because you are who you are.
Yes.
And so even if you were to be, one day all of a sudden you're 100 pounds, you're still the same fucking person.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. And it's the attitude, it's the love, it's the passion. And you found your formula that made it amazing for you to just go out and kick ass in what you do.
Yeah. And honestly, a big part was I became a teacher for a long time.
Yeah.
And I feel like it helped me heal my inner child and really focus on, these behaviors and things that I experience were not normal. And that's why my childhood was hard. And even at the bottom of the barrel, I always stood up and was like, it's going to be better tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is a new day. And I mean, there's days I feel defeated and I feel like I don't want to see anyone or do anything. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, you still have to show up and you can still do this. And when I do and it's successful, I'm like, you know what? It's because you pushed yourself. You made yourself uncomfortable, and that's why you're getting success. Like, you have to keep pushing, even when you feel like you don't want to push.
And so we all in business, including me, but not on the level that I'm sure, you and other people that are, higher profile on social media have to deal with, famous people, all that sort of stuff. But even people that go out and try to do business deals and maybe get shot down and take it personally, how do you stay away from taking trolls personally? Do you just ignore all that shit? Do you just post and ghost, or like?
I used to sit there and be like, I'm going to argue with these people. And then I was like, I'm wasting my time. I was like, that's what they want to do. They want to waste my time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're not worth my time.
Right.
I sit there and I'm like, you know what? Sometimes I'll reply with something witty. My friends are always
You're
like,
really witty.
I am.
Yeah. You're fucking good.
I always got a good feedback, but most of the time I just block them and move on, because at the end of the day, they're just boosting my video.
Yeah.
Like one time I think I said the wrong city because I was thinking about it and I recorded the voiceover late. That video got 4 million views.
Oh my God.
And half of them were like, you're dumb, you're stupid. And I'm like, I'm dumb. But if you read the caption, I actually knew what I was talking about.
Right. Yeah. I'm dumb. 4 million later.
And I'm like, they're like, delete this. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to delete it. I'm going to leave it up. And guess what? It just kept going. And I got a huge boost from that. And I was like, if I'm dumb, then how come all y'all followed me?
You know why you're so smart is because you got a degree from ASU.
Yes.
I got one of those too.
I got that one. And then I have a master's in international business from Thunderbird.
That's awesome.
And that was the hardest thing I ever did in my life. And it was a complete leap of faith. And it was one of the best things I ever did.
Yeah. Describe that process. Like, what is it that what you learned in that? Have you been able to attribute to what you're doing now?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It was one of the best things. So I did an accelerated master's program in business with a huge focus on international relations. So we actually lived in Romania for a few months.
Holy cow.
Did a consulting project in the middle of nowhere in the countryside in Kampung, where nobody spoke English except one guy. And they would be like, you're from Trump land. I was like, what? Yeah, it was a very interesting experience.
So awesome. America's known for that.
Oh my gosh. It was hilarious.
Oh my God. So tell me your favorite place to travel, like your favorite couple places.
Oh gosh.
I know. You got to narrow it down. You like Japan, right?
Oh, we love Japan.
Yeah.
They finally reopened.
Yeah.
My husband knows Japanese.
Okay,
because we're nerds.
Oh my God. And that's not an easy language, is it?
It's easier than English.
Really? Oh. Well.
Yeah, he's like, everything makes sense. And I'm like, I don't get it.
I can hardly speak English. So your personal life, what's a day in your life? Like, do you get up early? Do you get up late? Do you like to make coffee? Do you make breakfast for each other? Like, how does it? Oh
gosh, no. I kind of wake up whenever I wake up.
Okay.
I'm like, whatever. I hate waking up early. I give kudos to the people who wake up early and they're the it girl or the it guy. And that is not me.
Yeah, but I go to bed at 8.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm still 8 o'clock is when the creative juices start flowing.
Do you go out at night?
Yeah.
Okay, so you like to go do that?
Every night's date night, because that's usually when you get content, and then it's like you hit one after another, and it's always late. It's
so you're
always
working,
like 5
yeah.
or 6.
You're out there working, and you're dragging your husband out with you, and you're having fun.
He's like, can I nap? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I have to go work. I'm like, I will find someone. He's like, no. Don't replace me. I'll still come.
And when you guys are out and about at night, are the pet pigs okay?
Yep.
Okay. So they sleep okay and
oh yeah. And part of the day is wake up, play with the pigs for a bit. We take them outside. Pigs are an interesting animal.
Yeah.
Most people are always like, you have a pig, and it's 20 questions about the pigs, and I'm always explaining it.
Right. Do they sleep in bed with you or no?
They have their own bedroom.
Okay.
Because if they slept in bed, I would literally beat them up because I'm a sleep attacker. You can ask Melissa. I punched her in the gut. I punched Nathan many times.
Oh, poor
If
Nathan.
anybody ambushes me in their sleep, they will not survive. So,
Oh my God,
yeah.
that's amazing. Yeah, I sleep in bed with my dogs, and I
Aw.
just sleep like tight. Like I don't even move, and I can sleep. I can have a cup of coffee or two and go right to bed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd be like wired and up the entire night.
A total gift. What is if any, what's your preferred method? Is it TikTok or Instagram, or does it not matter?
Ooh, it kind of goes back and forth. Instagram and TikTok are bullies in the regard that it's like sometimes one is doing great and you're like, bam, bam, winner after winner. Like they're flying through, and then the other platform will be dead, and then they'll reverse.
Yeah.
So it's like even Instagram, I was like, oh, who cares? And I just kept posting reels, and all of a sudden they started taking off. And I was like, what is happening? It was like everything just grew so fast.
Yeah, and because you've gotten so big so fast, are there groups within those communities that reach out to you to be like consultants for them, or
I've
stuff
had
like
a
that?
couple of businesses ask me. Usually people are always like, will you run our social media? And I was like, I have an
No.
agency for you.
Yeah.
It's just, I would love to help everyone. And that's the hard part, is that you don't have time to do everything.
No.
And I'm sure it's like you find what you're good at, you focus on that, and you hire people to do the rest.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you can't focus.
No, it's kind of crazy. So that being said, how do you think you're going to continue to grow your business? Keep doing what you're doing? Are there other facets of what you want to do, or?
Yeah, I've been wanting to like branch out and do some more things. I want to do more consulting work.
Cool.
Because I love consulting. I think there's a time and place for it, and I especially feel a lot of restaurants and businesses aren't really utilizing social media to their benefit because it's free.
Yeah.
You have to learn to use it, but it is a free resource that you don't necessarily get everywhere else.
Yeah, and if you're not relevant, you're irrelevant, right?
Yes, I have people like, okay, one of my favorite coffee shops to this day, I always bring it up, and people are like, I've never heard of it, and they live down the street from it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you live right there.
And so even if they were to like post whatever, a picture of their coffee once a day, how long does that take?
Yeah.
Put it up. Maybe the geo tracking or I'm getting all technical here.
Ooh.
Like I know what I'm talking about, right? Hold on, let me.
Just magic.
Just magic. Like I know what I'm talking about here, but just maybe somebody in the neighborhood would see that cup of coffee at a place that they didn't even know existed.
Oh yeah, like sometimes there's times I click on my geotag and I'll be like, what is this?
Yeah.
I'll be like, this is right where I live, and I'll look it up, and then I'll research it and go there. Or hashtags, like hashtags are big. I'll look up certain hashtags locally, and I'll be like, I had no idea this existed here.
No. And thank God for social media, because when I went outside and I saw a nuclear warhead coming for my house, I was like, oh shit, this is it.
Oh, the
and then I'm like,
SpaceX
yeah.
thing,
And
yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's just Elon Musk fucking around. Okay, cool. Whew. I'm going to live.
It's like aliens.
I know. So crazy. Hold on. I have an alien one.
It's like X-Files up in here.
That's right. No. So, it's too funny. Let's real quick. I want to talk about just your thoughts on Arizona as a whole. Obviously you live here, you've been here a while. Do you love it? Are there aspects of it that you just love more than others?
What I love is that I don't have to shovel snow ever, but I do love that it's growing. We are getting so much more stuff here. I mean, even some popular chains like Tiger Sugar and stuff is coming here. So that people are recognizing Arizona is a big spot, especially with all the people who've just moved here, and even just new smaller restaurants opening. It's, resorts are coming up left and right. The one in Glendale is insane.
Really?
Insane. I don't know if you've seen it. It's massive.
What is it?
It's like it's going to have a giant pool that literally looks like a beach. It's crazy.
What?
Yeah, I forget the name. I want to say Bear Resort or something like that. It's right near the stadium in Glendale.
No kidding.
So we have so many brands opening, and I feel like people are starting to recognize us. It's kind of like Nashville with bachelorettes.
Yeah.
That's Scottsdale with bachelorettes.
Right.
Like, it's growing. And I feel like people sleep on Arizona. They're like, oh, it's just Arizona. I'm like, no, we have so much good stuff coming here.
And with that being said, like how backlogged do you get with, say, existing or newer companies that want to utilize your service?
Oh my gosh, it gets crazy because there'll be all of a sudden there'll be a lull. I'm like, oh, I have room, and then I'll be booked up for a solid 2 months.
Yeah.
And I try to do a mix of like paid promotions, but also like free promotions or ones I go and pay for.
Right.
Because I like to keep a constant, like, you have to have content every day. I drop content every single day, if not more than once a day. So you got to like build it up.
Because albeit like I talk about taking a picture of something and posting it, it can get very complicated, especially when you're doing reels and you're trying to, kind of figure out your methodology of how you want to present something to the public.
Yep.
So you might be out taking several videos, and then I've seen, hell, I saw you do it over at my house where you're just kind of cutting and pasting and then, squiggling and then whatever, then noise and shit. And it's just like, holy cow. Like that, it's honestly a huge talent if you really think about it, because most people don't even know how to do that. I'm sure that took you a good amount of time to just kind of trial and error and figure all that out, right?
Oh,
and it's ever changing.
I had never edited a video before 2020 in my life.
Wow.
Never. I was like, I'm like, this won't be hard. And then I'm like, oh, this isn't great. But then my third video I posted, it went viral. And I was like, okay, if I could do that, I can repeat it. Tried it again, went viral. I was like, okay, like I can keep doing this.
Yeah.
And then I kind of figure, and then I look at my old stuff. I'm like, oh, this is so cringy. And people are like, I love this video. I'm like, oh, it's so terrible.
Yeah. And you're not really you're not always just the main focus of your videos either.
Mm-hmm.
Like the videos can just be like, places, but it's it's that voice. People love that voice.
Yeah. And that was a big thing was people were like, oh, I'm like, it's not about me. It's about the business.
Mm-hmm.
And I like throwing me in because people will be like, who is she? Because there'll be times people are like, I didn't recognize you, but I recognize your voice. Like I'll go to a bar and this guy goes, I follow you.
Yeah.
I know your voice. Or like there's been ads we've done and people are like, oh, I saw your thing for this place. I'm like, I never did a thing. I'm like, oh, that's the ad we're running.
Right.
But I had no idea that people recognize her. Like people messaged me for like, there was a campaign I did with Jack in the Box and they're like, oh my God, I know this girl. Like, I know her. They're like, you're a celebrity. I'm like, no, I'm just a regular person. It's so funny.
I'm just here in the morning playing with my pigs. Leave me alone. That's amazing. I think the best video you ever did, in my opinion, was the one that you shot with me when I had a mustache.
Yes, I love that one.
Yes,
that
I was fat and then I wasn't again.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing because I was like the weight loss seeing it, because I think people look at it and they're like, oh, I'm going to be stuck here forever.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, like through hard work, you can really accomplish anything. It may take you longer, but you can still do it.
Well, at the end of the day, all this is aesthetics. Like, really, who gives a shit? It's a meat suit. We're all going to die. It's like, whatever. But if you feel good inside, if it's your inner workings that are working and you have the energy and the love and you're good to people, that's what it's about.
Yeah. 100%. And that's the thing, right? Like, I want people to feel good.
Yeah.
I want people, when they see my videos, they get excited and they're like, because a lot of people said, I thought Arizona was sucked and there's nothing to do. And they're like, you really changed my mind.
Right.
And I'm like, it's your perception. Like, of course, if you sit there, you're like, this place sucks. I don't like anything. Then you're going to stay there because you're not changing your mindset. You have to have an outlook or be like, you know what? I noticed that we don't have this here. I'm going to reach out and see if we can get this started. Like, I want to start a group or I want to start a business. It's like, stop complaining and start doing something.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a great attitude and a great way to, kind of get other people involved to go and get that extra step to make a move. Yeah. Okay, I want to put you on the spot. And this is I'll see if I can word this correctly, and there's not really a right answer to it, but I'm just curious, and I'm sure people listening are curious. So if you had to guess, like, one of your most successful, like, okay, Joe calls you and he's like, yo, I got a pizza place or whatever. And you're like, okay, it's cool. I like Joe. We vibe, and you go and you do the pizza video and then you post it and then people in Arizona see it. Like, what percentage within that week of people coming in the door is a possibility?
Oh gosh. I mean, it depends on the video, how far the reach is.
Yeah.
I mean, a great example is I worked with this cheesecake place, small mom and pop spot. just started. The guy quit his finance job to do it.
Oh my God.
And he had made a bunch of cheesecakes, and I put the video out, and within an hour he sold out of all of them. And I mean, they had prepped the cheesecakes for like 2-3 days.
Wow.
So they sold out a 2-3 days inventory, and they were like, we got to recoup it. And as soon as they recouped it, they were gone again and again and again. So it really depends. But a lot of places tell me they get at least, gosh, from one video, a couple hundred people come in.
That's amazing.
And even if each person spent only $5, right?
Yeah.
You're getting $500 just from a small group,
Yeah.
if not more than that.
The rate of return and the quickness of the hit is something that we've never seen before, because radio and, newsprint and all that, it just, how did you ever know, without somebody bringing in a coupon or saying, hey, I heard, TikTok on the radio, sort of thing. Yeah.
I just had, ironically, a company the other day tell me we get more direct correlation with the news than we would with an influencer. And I was like, actually, I go, here's some case studies. And I have tons.
Yeah.
I saved a store that was closing. Like, they were about to close. I went in on my own. I just filmed. They were staring at me like I was a weirdo.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just filming this for TikTok. Literally, they quadrupled their inventory.
Wow.
And they were going to shut their doors, and now they're doing amazing. And they do a ton of online sales. I got people from all over the globe involved.
That's, yeah. Do they have a picture of you on the wall?
They should.
Right? Wall of Fame. All right. I have a couple of rapid fire questions for you before we head out. Motorcycle or moped?
Ooh, moped, because my mom used to own one, and we would ride around on it when I was a kid, and it was amazing. I loved it.
I had no idea. That's just a random question. That's very cool.
I like that.
Wow. Fishing or gardening?
Gardening.
Yeah.
Fishing is really boring. I'm sorry.
Unless you catch something, right? Okay. Would you rather go on a cruise or be VIP at a 3-day concert festival?
Ooh, VIP.
Yeah.
I think that's fun. I don't know. Cruising after a while gets a little redundant.
Yeah, you're in the tight rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that I've ever been. My wife's listening. I won't go. Would you rather have 1,000 likes or 1,000 views?
Ooh, 1,000 likes, because there's more than 1,000 views going on there.
Yeah.
The ratio is interesting.
You're right. I guess 100,000 views.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Huh? Boston or Phoenix?
Ooh. Deep down, I have to choose my hometown because the seafood and Italian food's really good. Somebody come here.
You heard that, folks. Don't stone her. All right. UFOs or gremlins?
Ooh, UFOs.
I just love using that button. That's why I asked that. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Good answer. Well, I guess I know the answer to this one. Brunch or late night?
Ooh, late night.
Yeah.
I never make it to brunch.
Yeah.
Like ever.
And then would you rather go to Raising Cane's, or would you rather have Melissa cook dinner for you?
Ooh. Melissa's actually a good cook.
Is she?
Surprise! I'll have her make me. She better make me something good, or else.
Or else.
I'll go to Raising Cane's.
You hear that, Melissa? We're expecting dinner, a good dinner. Well, this has been awesome. I appreciate you coming. And where can everybody, I mean, besides the obvious, I'll put it in show notes, but what are your favorite places for people to come find you at? And,
Oh, on channels, I'm on Let Them Eat This, not Let Them Eat the, or no, not Let Me Eat This. It's Let Them Eat This. It's like Let Them Eat Cake.
Right.
So complicated, but simple at the same time.
That's so funny. And if restaurateurs or, people in business are listening, what's the methodology to reach out to you in order to, have them hire you if you're interested?
My email's open, which is letthemeatthis@gmail.com, but you can always reach out through DMs on Instagram. TikTok's made it really complicated now, but I'm very responsive. I respond to pretty much every message.
Yeah. Or you can just hit me up and I'll just give you your contact info. Because,
You can pimp me out.
I'll pimp you out because you're so worth it and so amazing. So awesome. Again, thank you for coming. I appreciate both of you being here. It's awesome. And thank you everybody for listening. The podcast is sponsored by myself and today by Van Halen, because they're my favorite band. All right. So anyways, please, if you get a chance, leave the podcast a 5-star. Just be an amazing person, because I know you all are that are listening. And until next time, peace out.
Peace.